Hey yo, and what's up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV today. A couple of weeks back, we dropped a WWE Backlash review and reaction show after a nearly 2-year-long absence from the YouTube scene, leaving many of you to wonder what the hell happened, where did you go? And I'm here today with this video to explain all of that to you right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV. Let's do it. Okay, so for those of you who may be tuning in for the first time, let me provide some context. Back in 2015, I found the YouTube world of wrestling podcasts, and I decided to jump in on the fad. I figured if all these other guys can do it, I can do it too. I was just as good, if not better, than some of them. Some of you know that firsthand. Some of you will come to find that out in the future. 2019 rolls around, we were firing on all cylinders, man. Between 2019 and 2021, some of you were aware, new viewers will now know, that I was burning the candle at both ends. Man, looking back at it now, I was absolutely out of my mind. I was working at my job. I was going to the gym constantly. I was training twice a week at House of Glory to pursue my professional wrestling career. We can get more into that later. I was watching WWE. We were covering WWE. I was making videos for this channel, producing them all by myself. I don't have a fancy editor. I don't sub out things to other people to make my backgrounds and my layouts and my logos. I was doing everything all myself. Writing, producing the videos, editing the videos, filming the videos. I ran out of time. There was just not enough time in every single day for me to accomplish everything I wanted to do. And then on top of that, I had to be a good husband and a good dad. I was split like a Horcrux from Harry Potter, right? I was pulled over here, I was pulled over there, I was in a million pieces, and you can't sustain that for a very long time. However, in that time, my life felt like a dream. It was really amazing, you guys. This podcast opened up so many doors for me. The fact that I was even able to try to pursue a career in wrestling, that I got into the ring and was able to wrestle and train and do things I've only dreamt of doing before, was just unbelievable. And just like everything in life, with good comes bad. And while I was training, a lot of bad things happened in my personal life. We had a few people that passed away. We had a few people that were sick and almost passed away. There was a lot of trauma, as there is in everybody's life, right? But I was still chugging along. I was still doing the show. We were still getting through as best as we could. But then something terrible happened. And during training, I had gotten injured. I gotten injured to the point where I needed to go and get an MRI. So I got this MRI. And my doctor comes out and he tells me, you can't wrestle anymore. Pretty much just flat out just told me, this wrestling thing you just started to do, you're an idiot for doing it. You're 42 years old. You can't do it no more. You're broken. If you do it again, you're risking serious health issues. Possibly not being able to walk anymore. And that's not something, as much as I love wrestling, it's not something I'm willing to risk. So I had to walk away. And the mental part of that was just too much. And it ended up compounding with a bunch of other issues. And I just burnt out. I burnt out. I was depressed. I was very hard to be around, I could imagine, for other people. I could not shake the darkness that I was in. And I tried to mask that. A lot of you guys didn't even know I was going through such a thing right before we stopped broadcasting on this channel. But it was really rough. It's even hard to think about and talk about now with you guys, which is one of the reasons why I've kind of delayed making this video. I don't really like talking about it because I feel like I've gotten past it. Obviously, past it enough to the point where I could do a review once again. You don't understand, and I would like to help you understand that why I went away is because I couldn't watch wrestling anymore. Every time I tried to watch, I would just get emotional. I was broken. My brain was broken. I wasn't enjoying the thing that I was the most passionate about for my whole entire life. I couldn't even get through an episode of Raw towards the end. I was, not just for being emotional, but I was falling asleep at like 9:30, and despite attempts by my wife trying to wake me up multiple times on the couch, it just wasn't happening. And then I'd end up waking up the next morning, and then I'd be angry because I missed the show, I didn't do the review, and it was just a real bad downward spiral. On top of all of this, my favorite person in the world passes away. Like, we all have that one person. For some of you, it might be your parents, but there's that other person besides your parents. Sometimes it's a person in your family, sometimes it's a close personal friend, but that's your person, right? That's your one person. It's like when something goes wrong or something goes down, that's the person you go to. You lean on them, you cry to them, you complain to them, and they help you through. My person unexpectedly left us. Her husband called me, told me, your aunt is very sick, something's wrong, I don't know what's going on. And within the next couple of days, it was just over. They live very far away. I haven't seen or really spoken with them in quite some time. That was my own fault. I kind of held a little bit of a grudge, which is something you shouldn't do. You shouldn't hold grudges in life because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. I was angry at them for moving so far away, so I kind of distanced myself. And then in these final last couple of moments while she was sick, she was already so sick to the point where I couldn't even speak to her because she was pretty much just out sleeping the whole time. And then she passes away, and that literally just broke me as a person. I was sitting right here and I was writing a show, and I will never forget, it was like the afternoon, and all of a sudden it felt like somebody punched me in my chest, man. I'm not that good at making up stories like this. I couldn't make this up. I'm sitting here and I just felt like a boom right in my chest, and I was like, oh man, something bad just happened. Something bad had to just happen. And I kind of immediately knew what it was. Within minutes later, I get the text that she's gone, and that was it, man. That was it. Everything was finished. I was sitting in my room every day, just a shell of what I was, all of the issues that I was going through, my wrestling injury, and some other more personal things. I really wanted to talk to her about. I was looking forward to finally getting to bury the hatchet, so to speak, and stop being so petty myself, and that didn't get to happen. So it sent me down a really bad path. And then something positive happens. This all happened like right at the tail end of the pandemic. We were still somewhat going through it, but we were already coming back from it as a society. And House of Glory, my wrestling school, was putting on their first show back after the pandemic. And I know I wasn't going to be allowed to wrestle, but I wanted to be part of the show. Not so much performing, but just, be there like I used to be, helping them set up, maybe help them assemble the ring, do some of the things I used to do while I was there. It had been quite some time. They had already known about my injury and the fact that I can't really wrestle anymore. But my mentor, one of my mentors, great fucking guy, Smiley, he spoke with me. He said, I'm more than welcome to come down. I don't have to do anything physical. I could just join back up with the faction, put my mask on, jump around, rile up the crowd, and be part of the show and help House of Glory kick back off this next section of its existence. So I do that, and I promised my my wife and everybody, I'm not going to wrestle. I swear to God. He said I don't have to wrestle. I'm going to put on my suit. You know, I'm going to go under the ring. I'm going to come out. I'm going to, you know, do what we do as the minions of Smiley and the Carnival of Chaos, as we would know. And I ended up fucking hurting myself. I ended up hurting myself in the most unimpressive, most retarded way possible. I came out from under the ring. I sound so stupid to talk about it now, and I'm glad I could laugh about it now because it sent me into a further fucking depression. I came out from under the ring. I literally was like, yeah, you know, and then I took one step. It was like a hop step, but it was just a step. I just took a step to go to the right, and I blew out my entire calf. I blew out my entire calf. And now what do you do? What do you do? I shouldn't have been performing in any capacity, really, because of my whole back injury and my hip problem that my doctor told me not to wrestle anymore about. And now this just this random thing, it shouldn't have happened. Like, I was totally fine. I stretched. I had, you know, everything going for me. I just took a step to the right, and I just felt a snap. Bah! And now I had to fake it because I can't let the guys know. I can't derail the show, so I can't just drop and be like, "Oh, my leg," you know. I can't do that. Oh, what are we gonna do? We're gonna fake it till we make it. I struggled through the segment, and what I ended up doing, which was kind of smart, is I kind of put the limp into my character, right? I tried to be more like a creepy kind of like, you know, I can't walk right, on purpose to, you know, mask the fact that I just fucked everything up. So I got through the segment. We got back under the ring. We crawled out. I take my mask off, put my shit away. And I said to me, you can't just disappear. And I also can't go check in with the doctors because I'm not really supposed to be there. So I waited a little while. I hobbled over to the bar. I masked it as best I could. As far as I know, nobody noticed. I don't know if you could see it on the video because it was on, I think it was on Fight TV or something. And I was never able to see any other performances that I was able to do, unfortunately. And then I got my shit and I got the hell out of there. And I drove the hell home in a hell of a lot of pain. And I called my wife and I said, don't get mad. But guess what happened? So at that point, I went through this whole thing where, like, you know, wrestling's turned against me. I spent 40 years devoted to this sport. And not only did it kick me out, it kicked me out and then it spit on me and threw some more dirt on top of it with that last secondary injury, a stupid injury, one that wasn't even really wrestling related. It's something that you could do just as easily getting off your couch, I guess. But, you know, some of you younger guys might not understand this, but when you're in your 40s, your body don't work the way it used to, and you could, like, sneeze and be out of work for like 2 fucking weeks. Glad I could laugh about it. But yeah, that was that. And as far as the show goes, I couldn't even think about pro wrestling, you guys. So I tried for a while. I was gonna, if you might remember, I tried to shift the show, which I still intend to do. I want to cover more than wrestling on this channel going forward. But, you know, I did an Obi-Wan Kenobi review. I was working on a Moon Knight review and also a review of The Batman, which was a great movie, but it has a lot of problems. And every time I tried to do that, YouTube was striking me with copyright stuff because I was trying to be more cool. I was trying to use footage and, you know, stuff like that, but it wasn't in the cards. And that brought me down even further. We popped back on just a couple of times. We tried again, right? When Vince retired, I dropped that video. You could find that in here, and you could, when you go back and watch it, you could see that I'm just not me. There's just something off, and it's not just the topic. right? I was just off a step. And then we did the Everything Wrong with Backlash 2022. And I just wasn't feeling it. I tried. It didn't happen. And I couldn't get back into it. And then YouTube changed the rules. They required shorts. I became demonetized, which we still are demonetized at this point. After working so hard to get there, and then they took it away from me, I was just kind of like, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck everything. Fuck YouTube. Fuck you. Fuck me. I'm out. Mental breakdown. Mental health is very important, you guys. If you have people that can help you get through that, you got to keep them around. Luckily, I have my girls. I mean, the only thing that made me happy in any capacity during this time was any amount of time I spent with my family. That was not the issue, and I did not want to take it out on them. So when I was with them, I made a concerted effort to be the best that I absolutely could be. But in these moments of silence, in these moments of quiet, when the girls went to bed and I sat here in the office looking at the camera, looking at the setup, I just would go into a deep, dark place. So dark, in fact, that one day I threw everything away. When I decided, you know what, I want to do the Bad Blood review a couple of weeks ago, I started looking for the stuff. I'm looking for my camera, I'm looking for my light, I'm looking for everything. And my wife's like, you threw the camera out. I'm like, I would never do such a thing. But I did. And I didn't even remember that I did it. It's nowhere to be found. So we went out and we bought a new one for the purpose of restarting this channel and going forward, doing things just a little bit differently. We might not be doing reviews and stuff like the way you were used to a couple of years ago, but we are back. And we're going to be making content. We're going to be making shorts. We're going to be trying to get remonetized again. And we're going to all do that together. We're going to do that together. And I want to thank every single one of you guys that stayed subscribed for over the last 2 years. We still have over 2,800 subscribers, which is fan-fucking-tastic. Or 2,600, whatever it is. I love all of you for not abandoning me. And to those of you who over the years kept sending me messages and asking me to come back, you guys are partially the reason why I am here. Because I knew that there were still people looking for my opinion. Still people wanting to know what the hell happened to Nick Nightmare and the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. And now you kind of know. I had like 3 pages of notes here that I was going to go through. And I ended up getting through it quickly without having to get so personal. Some of this stuff maybe wasn't appropriate to get so deep into. I gave you the gist of everything, but the reason why I really came back and the reason why I was able to watch wrestling again and enjoy wrestling again all comes down to my daughter. And she's great. She's got my wrestling brain. She's got a great sense of humor. And I really have her to thank, and her best friend, who is what kind of ignited her love for wrestling again. When she was real young, she used to watch it with me. She's a fan of Becky Lynch. She used to like Seth Rollins. But now, you know, she's a huge fan of Cody Rhodes. She loves Jey Uso. She still likes Becky Lynch, likes Rhea Ripley, you know, and she expressed to me one day that she wants to watch the shows. She went over to her best friend's house and her friend had 2K23, and then she came home and she's like, Dad, why don't you have this game? And I had 2 options in that moment. I could have sat there and gave this 12-year-old girl a whole diatribe about why 2K sucks and how they ruined the game in 2020 and you know, and how wrestling and Daddy don't like it anymore. Like, I could have did all that. But I didn't do that. I did the good dad thing. And I said, why, do you want this game? And she's like, yeah, it's cool. And I was like, yeah, you know what? It is cool. I know it's cool. Because I used to be obsessed with this game. So I broke. And this actually happened right around the time 2K24 released. So I bought the whole thing. I suck it out on the $130 fucking mega pack so I don't miss a download or anything. So she's got everything. And then I had the game for her for weeks, and I couldn't play. Like, still, there was that little bit of me was like, I'm not playing. I'm not gonna make myself as a wrestler. I don't want to fucking do that. I was really a wrestler. I don't want to be just a digital fucking wrestler now. What the fuck? But then I watched her playing, and she's going through the career mode, and there's some wild shit going on, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta fucking see what they did. And then I ended up playing 2K24. I beat the career mode. I did the girl mode. I did all. I'm loving the GM mode. So I said, you know what? I feel better. I feel more like me. We're watching wrestling together as a family now. I'm not just watching it by myself. And I'm feeling those same feelings. You know, Triple H did exactly what we all thought he was going to do. He made wrestling great again. But even he can make a few mistakes. I am not a Triple H hater in any way. I'm in a Triple H shirt right fucking now. He's been my guy since the late 90s. Before he was even in DX, when he was Triple H Hunter doing the whole, thing, I loved him. I was always into him. And he's doing a great job. But that doesn't mean he's doing everything right. We will be talking about that on videos henceforth from this day forward. So, we're going to go to see Saturday night's main event just up the road, about 20 minutes from my house at the Nassau Coliseum. I got tickets. I'm going to be there live. Wrestling is back in a big way, and so are we. So thank you to Sabrina for saving Daddy's state of mind and for bringing me back to where I belong, behind this camera, and doing what I do for you guys. Thank you to you guys for your continued love and support, and I hope to see you more and more going further. If you want to know more about my wrestling journey, my House of Glory training, and my wrestling career, for lack of a better term, or my stint in wrestling, we're making a video on that. We're going to get more deeply into the details. I'm waiting right now for some footage to come back to me. I reached out to some of my contacts still there, and I'm hoping to get some video so I can really produce a good video and do it some justice and show you guys some of the shit that I was able to do. And so you also know that I'm not completely full of shit, because I do have the receipts, but I don't. Well, let's put it this way: the receipts are out there, but I don't have them, all of them, to produce for you. But other than that, that video hopefully will be right here or here at some point once it's produced. If you missed the Bad Blood review, that I'm definitely going to have right here. So go check that out. Going forward, we're not going really to do so much with the reviews on such a weekly basis. I don't know. My schedule doesn't really allow for me to do it the way we used to do it. I'm still trying to figure it out. But be patient with me, and we will. Most likely, we're going to compile stuff throughout the week and then maybe do 1 or 2 videos every Saturday. I don't know. Maybe you guys can make a suggestion to see. Maybe we could format the show differently instead of doing straightforward reviews like everybody else. Maybe I just do like the 3 or 4 things that I hated the most this week, something like that. If you're up to that, let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for indulging my story. That's why I disappeared from YouTube, and I'm back now, and going forward, hopefully it's nothing but bright days and shiny rainbows and all that shit. Everything came crashing down on me, and you know what they say: when it comes crashing down, it hurts inside. But you gotta take a stand. Don't help to hide. Oh, here I am. I'm back. Not because I'm a real American, but because I am the Sledgehammer, Nick Nightmare. Thank you guys so much. I love you so much. And we'll see you next time. Take care.